Welcome to the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu. Today we're diving deep into Liz Wiseman's Multipliers, how the best leaders make everyone smarter.
Okay.
But we're doing it through the lens of Anil Nathu's 1 Hour Guide, right?
Right.
And you reached out to us about this one.
Yes.
You wanted to get a grasp on.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fascinating topic.
How leaders impact their team's intelligence and capability, right?
How they can supercharge their team.
Yeah, how to supercharge their teams.
Yeah.
So,
and the idea,
at the very heart of this idea,
the central concept of the book is this contrast between what Wiseman calls multipliers and diminishers.
So multipliers are good, diminishers are bad.
Well, yeah, in a nutshell.
Okay.
You know, multipliers amplify the intelligence and abilities of their teams, while diminishers kind of stifle that potential.
So diminishers are holding their teams back in some way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu does such a great job of explaining how even well-intentioned leaders can sometimes accidentally be diminishers.
Okay.
You know, they may have the best of intentions, but their actions end up limiting the team's potential.
I see. So it's not always intentional.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so our mission in this deep dive then is to...
Well, the 1 Hour Guide is really our roadmap for this deep dive.
Okay.
You know, it gives us a concise, practical framework to understand how to move towards becoming a multiplier.
Okay, so that's what we're trying to do, figure out how to be a multiplier.
How to unlock that full potential of your team.
Okay.
And I think that's what so many of us want to do as leaders.
Yeah. You want to get the best out of your team.
Exactly, yeah.
You want your team to be successful.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Wiseman, through this lens of the 1 Hour Guide, has identified 5 core disciplines that really separate these multipliers from diminishers.
Yeah, 5 key traits and behaviors that consistently show up in these multiplier leaders.
Okay, so let's break down what these 5 disciplines are.
All right, so the first one is being a talent magnet.
A talent magnet.
Yeah, okay.
So these are leaders who have this amazing ability to not only attract really talented people, but to really understand their unique strengths.
Oh, okay.
So they can put them in roles where they can absolutely excel.
Okay.
So it's about, you know, recognizing and utilizing that full potential.
So they can really shine.
Exactly.
Okay.
The second discipline
is all about being a liberator.
A liberator.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So multipliers, they create this environment where there's a lot of trust and autonomy.
Okay.
Right. They give their teams the space to think independently.
Okay.
You know, to take ownership of their work.
And to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
Without having to constantly check in.
Exactly. And that, you know, empowers people to be more engaged, more effective.
It makes sense. When you feel trusted, you're going to perform better, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got talent magnet, we've got liberator. What else?
All right, so the third discipline is being a challenger.
A challenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is about, you know, pushing your team to grow.
Okay.
These leaders, they're not afraid to set ambitious goals, right?
Okay.
They give their teams challenging opportunities that force them to stretch, to go beyond their current comfort zones.
Okay.
So you're constantly encouraging growth and development.
Right.
The fourth one is being a debate maker.
A debate maker. So they like to argue.
Well, not exactly argue, but they really encourage open and constructive debate.
Right. Okay.
You know, they see the value in having diverse perspectives.
Right. So they want to hear everybody's ideas.
Yeah, because they know that leads to better solutions.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's number 5?
All right. So the fifth and final discipline is being an investor.
An investor. Okay.
Yeah.
And what does that look like in practice?
So multipliers, they dedicate their time and resources to really developing their team members for the long term.
Okay.
They provide coaching, they give feedback,
Yeah.
they create opportunities for learning and growth.
So it's not just about getting the task
Exactly.
done right now. It's about building the team.
Yeah, it's about
On a
investing
the sun.
in their long-term growth and development,
Yeah.
which ultimately benefits the whole team.
Okay. So, I mean, these all sound like qualities of an effective leader anyway, right?
They do.
But this framework.
Right, but I think what sets the multiplier framework apart is that it emphasizes this idea of amplifying others' abilities. Right.
Yeah.
It's not just about being a good leader yourself.
Right.
It's about enabling your team to be their absolute best.
Okay, so let's dig into some of these in a bit more detail. So you talked about talent magnet.
Yeah.
And this is more than just hiring. Well, right.
Exactly. It's more than just bringing in talented people.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the unique potential in each person.
Okay. And I guess
1 Hour Guide refers to these leaders as genius makers.
Genius makers.
Yeah.
So they can take somebody.
They see the genius that's maybe hidden or untapped. Okay. And they create opportunities for that to be realized.
Okay. So they're bringing out the best in people.
Okay.
You know, they're not hoarding talent.
Right.
They're not afraid to share it, to help others grow and develop.
Okay. And that's kind of counterintuitive, right? Because you would think, you know, you want to keep all the...
You'd think you want to keep all the best players to yourself.
To yourself,
But multipliers, they understand that the collective intelligence of the team is far greater than the sum of its parts.
I see. Okay.
But only if those parts are, you know, well-placed and empowered. Okay, that makes sense. So it's about putting everyone in a position where they can really thrive.
Where they can excel.
Okay. Now, you also talked about the challenger versus...
Nerve is the know-it-all.
The know-it-all.
Yeah, and there's a big difference.
Okay, so...
A know-it-all leader... They tend to, you know, shut down new ideas.
Okay.
They limit the input from their team.
Okay.
They may not even realize they're doing it.
Right.
But, you know, their certainty can stifle creativity. Right, you know?
If you're always right, then
exactly.
Nobody else.
What do you mean? Not even bother.
Yeah.
You know, a multiplier, on the other hand, as a challenger, they really believe in the team's capacity to figure things out, to rise to the occasion.
Okay, so they're setting challenges, but they're not.
They're posing difficult questions. They're setting high expectations, but they're also providing the support to meet those challenges.
So it's not just, here's this impossible task.
Right, exactly.
And then good luck.
It's, I believe in you.
Yeah.
I know you can do this.
Okay.
And that's what fosters growth and innovation.
Okay. That's interesting.
It is.
So it's not about giving all the answers. It's about...
Right. It's about inspiring them to find the answers themselves.
And that's probably more effective in the long run because then they've learned how to do it themselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you also talked about the difference between delegating and micromanaging.
Huge difference.
Yeah. And that kind of relates...
It connects back to
the liberator.
That idea of the liberator, right?
Yeah.
Because when you micromanage, you're sending a message of distrust.
Right.
You're basically saying, I don't trust you to do this on your own. And that's really stifling, right? It prevents people from taking ownership, from developing their skills.
Okay.
So a multiplier, as a liberator, they delegate not just tasks, but authority as well.
So they're giving people the power
to make decisions,
to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be accountable for the outcomes.
And that trust.
That trust fosters a sense of ownership.
Okay.
It encourages people to bring their full capabilities to the table. It's really about creating the space for people to operate effectively without that constant oversight.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it's not just freeing up your own time.
Right.
It's about empowering them to...
Empowering them to do their best work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this liberation extends beyond people, right? To resources as well.
It does, yeah.
So what do you mean by that?
So multipliers, they get that, you know, to maximize the team's potential.
Yeah.
You got to make sure they have the tools, the information, the support they need to do their best work.
Right. So give them the resources they need.
Exactly. This could be anything from providing access to training, you know, fostering collaboration across different areas, maybe even being flexible with work arrangements.
Okay.
You know, it's about removing obstacles.
Right. So getting those roadblocks out of their way.
Anything that might be hindering the team's effectiveness.
Okay. So all these things seem interconnected.
Yeah, they are.
And I guess...
they feed into each other.
There must be a difference in results, right?
There is.
Between, you know, a team led by a multiplier versus a team led by a diminisher.
There's a significant difference.
Okay.
Because ultimately, when leaders operate as multipliers, they tap into so much more of their team's intelligence and capability. And the result is you get more innovation. You get faster problem solving. You get better outcomes than if the leader tried to do everything themselves or kind of stifled the team's contributions. You know, Wiseman calls this the multiplier effect.
Oh, the multiplier effect. Okay, and that's well explained.
And it's
in the 1 Hour Guide, right?
It is, yeah.
Sure.
The 1 Hour Guide does a really good job of breaking that down.
Okay.
So it's this idea that, you know, by tapping into the full potential of the team, you create this exponential increase in capability.
Okay, so that's the multiplier effect.
That's the multiplier effect.
Okay. Now, you also talked about the accidental diminisher.
Yeah, right. And this is so important for leaders to understand.
Okay.
Because even with the best intentions, you can still fall into these diminishing behaviors.
Right.
You know, and the 1 Hour Guide, it highlights
what are some
common pitfalls that leaders might fall into. One is, you know, constantly providing all the answers.
Oh, okay.
Right. So instead of letting the team wrestle with a problem, you just jump in and solve it for them.
So you think you're helping, but
you think you're being helpful.
Yeah.
But actually you're preventing them from developing those problem-solving skills.
Right. Okay.
Another pitfall is creating overly structured environments.
Okay.
Where there's no room for independent thought or initiative.
Okay, so you're basically telling them exactly what to do.
Exactly. You're not giving them any space to think for themselves.
Okay. And I guess if you're always focusing on mistakes.
That's another one, You know, if you're overly critical or you only focus on the negatives, that can really diminish people's confidence.
Right. Okay. Right. So what's the solution? How do you avoid?
Well, I think it starts with self-awareness.
Okay.
You know, really understanding the impact of your leadership style on others.
Okay.
And then being willing to seek feedback.
So ask people.
Yeah, ask your team, hey, how am I doing? Are there ways I could be more supportive?
Oh, okay, interesting.
Right.
So it's a two-way street?
It is,
You have to be open. It's a process of self-reflection.
Okay. And I guess that ties in with being a debate maker, right?
It does, yeah.
Because you have to be open to different perspectives.
Exactly.
So
debate maker.
Multipliers, they actively seek out and value different opinions.
Okay.
You know, they want to hear the dissenting voices. Okay. Because they know that leads to more robust, more well-considered decisions.
To avoid groupthink, right?
Exactly. Yeah. They want to avoid that groupthink.
Okay, so you get a wider...
You get a wider range of ideas.
Range of ideas.
You get people challenging assumptions.
Okay.
And you get better solutions as a result.
Okay, that's good. And then finally, the investor.
Right.
So it's focused.
This is about the long game.
On the long game.
Yeah.
So it's not just about.
It's not about short-term task completion. Yeah. It's about building the team for the future.
Okay.
So multipliers, they see their team members as long-term investments.
Okay.
They dedicate time and resources to coaching, to mentoring, to providing opportunities for professional development.
Okay, so they're helping them grow their careers.
Exactly. And that benefits not just the individual, but the entire team.
Right. Okay.
It strengthens the whole team's capabilities over time.
Okay. So it's about, fostering.
It's about fostering a culture of continuous learning and growth.
Okay. So everybody's learning and growing together.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, the 1 Hour Guide also touches on how to deal with diminishers.
Right.
So what happens if...
So what happens if you're working with a diminisher?
Yeah, how do you handle that?
Yeah.
What's the 1 Hour Guide say?
Well, the primary focus is obviously on becoming a multiplier yourself.
Okay.
But the 1 Hour Guide, it does offer some guidance on how to respond if you're dealing with a diminisher.
Okay.
It talks about things like advocating for your ideas.
Okay.
Seeking clarity.
Okay.
Maybe even working with your team to create a more empowering environment.
So it's not just about,
Right. It's not just about sitting there and taking it.
Yeah, you can
be proactive.
Push back a little bit.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the key message here.
I mean, the key message
from the 1 Hour Guide.
Is that by understanding and consciously practicing these 5 disciplines, anyone can become a more effective leader. You can amplify the intelligence and the capability of your team and achieve much better results.
Yeah. So you're basically multiplying your team's effectiveness.
You're multiplying their potential.
Okay.
You're getting the best out of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really makes you think about your own interactions.
It really does, yeah.
Are you
accidentally limiting those around you?
Yeah, or are you actually...
Or are you helping them grow?
Yeah.
Are you helping them contribute their best?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a journey, right?
It is.
To becoming...
It's a continuous journey of self-reflection and intentional effort.
Okay.
And, you know, multipliers and the 1 hour guide give you a really valuable framework for that journey.
So if you're listening to this, think about one small change.
Yeah, just one small thing.
Yeah.
One adjustment you can make today in your leadership approach to be more of a multiplier.
Okay.
Yeah.
What difference could that make?
What kind of impact could that have on your team?
That's a good question.
It is.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
If you want more business insights like this,
definitely check out the 1 Hour Guide website.
Visit the 1 Hour Guide website by Anil Nathu.
You won't regret it.